Earth Day by Linda Lowery. Illustrations by Mary Berger. Forward. Who wants to breathe dirty air or swim in a polluted lake? I don't, and I'm sure you don't either. When I was a senator, I noticed that our country's air, water, and soil were getting polluted. Plants and animals were dying. People around the United States were upset about this. They wanted to change things, but our country's leaders were not listening. They were not making laws to protect the environment. Finally, in June of 1969, I thought of an idea to get the attention of the politicians. The idea was to have a nationwide demonstration. I thought that if enough people got involved, everyone from the president to each city's mayor would have to take notice. And it worked. 20 million people came out on Earth Day 1970 and showed they cared. The politicians finally started to listen. But that was not enough. The whole world needed to work together. So Earth Day 1990 was held. People around the planet told their government officials that they wanted action to save the Earth, and the people themselves pledged to do their part. Now it's your chance. In not too many years, you will be the people who are running the country. What you think and do matters, so learn about nature and respect it. Live in a way that cares for the Earth, and keep after everyone from your mayor to the president to make laws that protect the planet. Your actions will make all the difference in the world. Gaylord Nelson, founder of Earth Day and former U.S. Senator. In this huge universe, there is one place we can all call home. It is the planet Earth. Its lands are green and lively. Its air is filled with oxygen for us to breathe. Everything we have comes from the Earth. Our clothes, our food, the homes we live in, and the medicines that make us well. Why not have a day to celebrate our home, the planet Earth? Not long ago, a senator from the state of Wisconsin had that very idea. His name was Gaylord Nelson. During the 1960s, Senator Nelson took many trips across the country. He saw Americans doing a lot of things that harmed the planet. They tossed litter on the sidewalks and in the fields. They drove their cars as often as they could, and their cars sent poison gases into the air. Farmers used chemicals on their crops to make them grow. The chemicals killed weeds and bugs. The chemicals also killed animals, fish, and birds. Even bald eagles died. Factories poured smoke into the skies, turning them black. Businesses and cities dumped trash into lakes, rivers, and oceans. All this spoiling of the land, air, and water is called pollution. Senator Nelson felt this damage to the earth was wrong. He wanted the United States to make stronger laws to stop pollution. Then, in 1969, something big and awful happened. An oil well sprang a leak near Santa Barbara, California. Millions of tons of oil spilled into the Pacific Ocean. The water turned dirty and smelly. Pelicans, egrets, sea lions, ducks, and other animals became coated with thick black oil, and most of them died. Senator Nelson was angry. Something must be done to stop this, he told students in California. We are destroying the very place we live in and love. What can we do to wake people up? Senator Nelson wondered. On the plane back to Washington, D.C., the senator had an idea. What if Americans set aside one day to learn how to care for our troubled planet? Maybe that day could be called Earth Day. In the next days and weeks, Senator Nelson called everyone he knew. He told them about his idea. Other Americans were angry about pollution too. They wanted to help. One of these people was a law student named Dennis Hayes. Mr. Hayes said he would spend the year helping the nation get ready for Earth Day. Other people offered to plan classes and speeches in the places they lived. Some wrote letters about pollution to newspapers and magazines, and the word spread quickly. On April 22, 1970, the United States celebrated the first Earth Day. It was not a national holiday, but it was the largest celebration in Earth's history. More than 20 million Americans took part. On that day, the United States Congress did not meet. Instead, the lawmakers went to classes where they learned ways to care for the Earth. Nearly every town and school in the nation had special activities. Scientists, doctors, store clerks, police officers, factory workers, teachers, students, and others took time off to show their concern for the Earth. They marched, they went to concerts, they took nature walks and studied about pollution. Some people went to companies that were polluting and asked them to stop. In New York City, the mayor stopped people from driving cars on Fifth Avenue. He wanted to show everyone how quiet and clean the city could be. The first Earth Day was a great success. People in the United States began to litter less. When they went to work, they traveled together in cars and buses. Congress made stronger laws and set up a new part of the government. The new department was called the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA. Environment means the natural mix of soil, water, air, climate, plants, and animals in a certain place. The EPA's job was to keep businesses, cities, and states from polluting our country's environment. Soon the skies, the water, and the land started to look cleaner. More bald eagles were seen. 10 years passed, and Americans started to forget the lessons of Earth Day. They grew careless. They began to waste water, fuel, soil, and trees. They acted as if these treasures would never run out. The United States government was not keeping a careful watch on pollution. By now, pollution was harming more than just the United States. All over the planet, poisons were quietly filling the air, water, and land. Businesses and governments weren't getting rid of waste safely. They thought it took too much time and too much money. They dumped more than ever. They filled the air with smog and the water with poisons. Store owners changed swamps and prairies into shopping malls. Trees were burned to make farms. Oil spills kept happening. Rainforest, ice fields, deserts, swamps, forests, and prairies were being spoiled or destroyed. Garbage was piling up all around. People bought things and used them just once. Then they threw them away. Baby diapers, soda cans, plastic toys, and fast food packages. Trucks carried the garbage to enormous holes in the ground. There the trash sat. Some of it will be there forever. Millions of acres of land were being filled to the brim with garbage. And in the world's oceans, thousands of tons of trash were floating or had sunk to the bottom. Creatures in every country were dying because they had no place to live. People were getting sick from the poisons in the air and the water. Pollution was killing the planet, and people were scared. Something had to be done. It was time for a World Earth Day. Governments, businesses, and citizens had to change how they were acting. People from every nation needed to be taught answers for environmental problems. For example, most garbage can be made into new things. This is called recycling. People don't need to use chemicals on their crops and lawns. There are safer, more natural ways to protect plants and help them grow. Ladybugs eat many insects that eat plants. So do birds. And plants grow strong and healthy in dirt made from dead plants and food scraps. Rainforests don't have to be burned or cut down to be useful. They give us rubber, fruit, nuts, medicines, and oxygen to breathe. Since Earth Day 1970, Dennis Hayes has been teaching people about things such as recycling and farming without chemicals. He had worked to make tougher laws to protect the water, air, soil, and animals. Now he decided to work on Earth Day 1990. He called up many people who had worked on the first Earth Day. They all got busy again. This time their plans reached far beyond the United States. On April 22nd, 1990, 200 million people in more than 140 countries celebrated the second Earth Day. Children around the world formed cleanup teams. They picked up litter in the country and the cities. In the United States, TV programs showed what each person could do to save the earth. Americans marched, sang, and spoke out for the environment. In Nicaragua, young people planted 10,000 fruit trees. School children in Sweden visited farms that do not use chemicals on their crops. Japan held a garbage festival. People watched while garbage was recycled into everything from postcards to soap. Thousands of people joined a litter walk in New Brunswick, Canada. In Jordan, the government decided to plant a tree for every new baby born in the country. A team of mountain climbers from the United States, the Soviet Union, and China met at Mount Everest. As they climbed the mountain, they picked up the trash others had left behind. On Earth Day 1990, hundreds of millions of people worked to repair the damaged Earth. But one day is not enough to fix many years of harm. People around the world will have to change their habits for good. If they don't, by the time you are 30 years old, a lot of animals and plants Clean air and fresh water will be gone from the earth forever. No one wants this to happen. So world groups such as the United Nations are keeping up the work of Earth Day 1990. Even countries that have disagreed in the past are working together. Scientists and government leaders are sharing ideas. They want each country to do these things: cut down on garbage, save the forest and the animals, clean up the water and the air, farm with fewer chemicals, plant more trees, and use land more wisely. They are working to make worldwide laws to save the earth, but world groups cannot do the job alone. Everyone must be part of the answer. Every action we take can help save the earth, or it can harm the earth some more. So the next time you have a can of soda pop, will you throw the can away, or will you recycle it? Earth Day happened once in 1970 and once in 1990. Now, each April 22nd, people celebrate Earth Day in their towns, schools, and homes. But why celebrate only once a year? We can do better than that. We can make every day an Earth Day. If we do our share each day, we will save the planet. After all, the Earth is the only home we have. It can't wait. Can we? How you can make every day an Earth Day. At home, reuse things. Used things are cheaper and have that nice broken-in feel. Give your used toys and clothes to other children so they can enjoy them too. Make new soil. With help from an adult, mix fruit and vegetable scraps with leaves, grass, and twigs. Put them in a wire basket or special wooden box and let them sit outside. This is called composting. In the spring, the new soil can go in your garden or window box. Recycle garbage. Save newspapers, cans, and bottles. If your city doesn't pick up recyclables, call your city council or government offices and ask who does. Find out if plastic things are recycled in your area. Save energy. Turn off the lights in the TV set when you leave a room. Plant trees. Each tree cleans the air and makes new oxygen for us to breathe. It gives animals and insects places to make homes. At play. Buy toys that will last. Try to choose things that you will not break easily and that you will like for a long time. Help save the rainforest. Buy ice cream and candy made with rainforest fruit and nuts, such as figs and cashews. If people can make money selling fruit and nuts from the rainforest, they will save the forest trees. Save trees and cut down on garbage. At picnics and parties, use cloth napkins, metal forks and knives, and reusable plates. They are better for the planet than those made of plastic or paper. Do not make garbage. Buy toys and snack foods that are not packed in styrofoam, plastic wrap, or shiny printed paper. These wrappings are not recyclable. Learn about nature. Visit parks, wildlife centers, and nature reserves. Read books and watch TV programs on animals, plants, bird, fish, and insects. Respect our environment. Respect our environment. Remember that animals, insects, streams, wildflowers, grass, air, people, soil, and forest all depend on each other. So don't squash bugs, don't tease animals, and don't litter. At school. Save energy and cut down on harmful gases in the air. Instead of asking someone to drive you to school or other places, walk, ride your bike, take the bus, or ride with friends. Save trees. If you use both sides of your art or notebook paper, fewer trees need to be cut down to make more paper. If you buy recycled paper, you can save even more trees. You can even ask your principal not to have paper cups or plates, as well as plastic or foam utensils in the cafeteria. Help to make stronger laws and protect the environment. Send letters to your mayor and city council members, to your county and state officials. Your teachers have their names and addresses. Tell them that you want laws to support recycling, to stop pollution, to save animals, and to protect the places in which animals live. You can even send a letter to the president.